Quite an exciting time for you to join us for another package of premium sport right here on PBO TV. Yes, we've got a lot to talk about on the show today. I remain the amazing Kingsley. I've got Boluwati Tunishala Omoni right here with me. We'll do a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll start off with sport beats, and then from then on, it will be the kind of conversations that you love having when we discuss sport. We'll be back. Welcome back, Premium Sport on PBO TV. Amazing Kingsley right here. Sport beats. Let's get into stories making the round. So, German-Nigerian heavyweight prospect Emmanuel Odiase has boldly declared he will become a world champion by 2027. Wow. Setting an ambitious timeline for his ascent to the top of the division. The 26-year-old, who is managed by Anthony Joshua's 258 MGT team, has boxed exclusively in his native Germany and across British shores where he is based. The 6 feet 8 inches heavyweight caught the eye, pairing with two-time unified world champion Joshua over a fortnight in March 2021. They kept in touch, and the rest, as they say, is history. Joshua's management team took on the Wolverhampton-based prospect, who has spurred several world champions and domestic contenders in recent years. Odiase, the youngest of 4 sons with dual German-Nigerian heritage, has compiled an impressive 8-0 record with 7 knockouts in turning professional. The heavyweight outlined his plans for the coming year, saying, "I've been saying that in 2027 I'll be world champion. 2 years go by quick. We've been working with different world champions. I'll just take it step by step. I'll be going for European titles next year, and in 2027 have a world championship belt around my waist." What a guy, and what kind of guts you've got to have. Still on boxing, ex-world champion, an ex-world champion has told Anthony Joshua to retire from the sport. Johnny Nelson thinks that Anthony Joshua should hang off his gloves. Joshua has been out of action since Daniel Dubois brutally knocked him out in 2024, and the 35-year-old was gearing up for a return in the summer of this year, but needed surgery to fix an elbow injury that was preventing him from punching properly. After a successful rehabilitation period, Joshua has returned to training and is eyeing up his options for a comeback. Former cruiserweight world champion Nelson doesn't want to see him back in the ring and ultimately believes his time is up. He said, and I quote, "I don't think it was ever going to happen, even when Jake Paul was shouting it out and at the end propped it up a bit. By the way, it was never ever going to happen. Number one, Anthony Joshua, no, it won't happen." Bolu, should Joshua hang his gloves, or is it a case of you still got it in you? Maybe if he just does a bit of maybe rehearsing, training, he can have another shot or crack at it.
Well, if Mike Tyson at over 50 is still fighting, if the deal is okay, I think you should go for it. One thing some persons forget is it's sports, it's business. That's the most important. But I don't think he can fight at the elite level anymore. He has tried over against Usyk. It didn't work. Same thing with the Gypsy King, also tried against Usyk. So I don't think Joshua can fight at the elite level anymore. In fact, the biggest elite fight he can get is either with Tyson Fury or Wilder. The fight many at the top. So aside that, I don't think he's getting any even title shout. So now he's just going for the money. Definitely not fighting for any pedigree anymore. He's been at the top of the food chain. So now he's at any Anthony Joshua fight, the bag is going to be heavy. That's the only thing I fight for him. Not for pride, nothing to prove for anyone. I had my time, now it's not my time anymore. So I think that's what he'll go for. Not elite. So for those telling him to step down, if you're offering 50 million, why will he step down?
Absolutely.
Even me, when not be boxer, if I see 50 million in Naira, I will go for the
you
fight.
Step into the ring, but one punch can mess your brain up.
If you're Jagba, his opponent entered the ring and left, he still got paid because he showed up.
Okay, I think it's better to show
at least
up.
I can run around the ring for maybe 20 seconds. If I block a punch, I go down. I just do like I have concussion. Game over. Okay. I got my money.
Okay, absolutely. You also like this one, Bolu. The final story that we've got on Sport Beats. FIFA are likely to schedule World Cup matches involving major European nations after midnight UK time next year in an effort to combat heat issues that affected the recent Club World Cup. It has been anticipated a World Cup kickoff times would mirror those at the Club World Cup when the earliest game started at 1700 BST, followed by 20 and then 23 and then 2 a.m. Remember, Bulu, we did a coverage on this. That's 5 p.m., 8 p.m., 11 p.m., and we also did 2 a.m. However, for the 5 p.m. and 8 p.m., this will suit European broadcasters. That's when the big games happen. Now, 5 p.m. will be midday kickoff in the United States. The heat will be absolutely crazy. And you now have, for the 8 p.m. now would be later, in midday kickoff. Then 8 p.m. will be much later in the evening. Now, they are looking at it that if we follow the complaints that we had in the FIFA Club World Cup, where PSG manager Luis Enrique complained about his team having to play in near 40-degree heat in their opener against Atletico Madrid, it started at 12 noon local time. Now, that 12 noon local time would suit European broadcasters, but right there in the United States, it's mad heat. Now, numerous coaches also have said, they even said Enzo Fernandez complained of dizziness when he was playing at that same time. So now, the conversation around it, because they asked him a question during his speech at the Leaders Conference in Twickenham for major lessons learned from the Club World Cup, Victor Montegliani, who is president of the North and Central American Confederation, CONCACAF, who is in charge of the event, said kickoff times. They're talking about the kickoff time. And I tell you, they're having conversations daily with European media and other world media in terms of what's best and which are the stadiums that you can play at 3 p.m. Now, Bodu, my question is simple. How do you balance this? Broadcasters are the ones that bring in the big money, so you can have enough money for the organization and all of that. The people also who are going to come to the stadium to watch, you also have to pick a time that will favor them. The players who are the most important part of all of this also need favorable time to play the game.
The players don't need any time to play the game. If they give you to play the moon, you play football. I think European players are brats. They are spoilt. Let me go back to that Club World Cup. Did you hear any of those South Americans complain? No. And no club at the Club World Cup played more game in a year than the South Americans. In fact, the South American club that played the least game played, I think, 72 matches in the last 12 years. 12-month calendar. They did their job. Immediately, Club World Cup was done. A week break. 2 weeks after, they resumed their league already. As when European football was starting, the club that went farthest in Club World Cup had played, I think, 5 matches after the Club World Cup. Competitive game, not friendly. But European teams, Real Madrid played even just one friendly before the season started. Then boom, Real Madrid will play the most games among Europeans, and they play 70. But you want to complain even in Real Madrid. But you see players from, if you cannot do the job, Rita, don't you go to work, come break, come shining. Do you forget when I say, daddy, son, or any do your job. If you don't like it, don't play for an elite club. It's simple. Will you hear? Have you ever heard an Everton player complain about future condition? No, because he will play 13 league games. If he plays Carabao Cup tomorrow, maybe 2 matches, he's out. If he plays FA Cup, maybe round 1 or 2, he's out. They don't play they don't complain. If you are playing for an elite team, you will definitely, for about 10 years, Real Madrid played average of 55-60 games every season. You do your job. If you don't like it, go and sit down. Aren't there players in the USA that play football during the day? Yes, they are. There's MLS. And in fact, they are players, they have more clubs in their league than every other club in every other country in Europe. They do their job. I'm not comparing the leagues. Obviously, MLS.
But if you want to watch quality games, if you want, this
Americans enjoy the game they play. No, did we play World Cup in Qatar? Is Qatar not hot? Those was even told us the way stadiums.
No, they put their
upon the AC stadiums upon the chiller. Players were still dripping. That's why they have tea break. You do your job at work. 2 things. I still say this thing to some guys. They say that if you don't like your job, resign. You can leave football. See, it's not Villas-Boas that left football and went to do Formula. I'm not saying don't care about the players' health at all, but sun should not be your complaint. You will complain when the sun is too much. You complain where the snow is so. What exactly do you want? Players in Russia play with snow everywhere. Their eyes frozen.
They are not the grade A players.
What's the grade A player?
You want to watch the Bellinghams, the Vinicius, the Mbappes. You have to give them fantastic, atmosphere.
£500,000 per month. and she treats you like a baby, then the one that has any let me come home. No MPFL player, none, earns $2,000 per month. None.
Bolu, let me explain how this thing.
Are we not elite in our...
No, Bolu.
The truth is, players should... It's for a month. You may not even... Highest you play at the World Cup, highest is 7 games. So if you can't sacrifice for 7... Okay, now that they've changed because of the new extended format. So probably 8 matches.
What if a player in extreme heat conditions collapses and then we have a tragedy on our hands?
That's why a player can collapse without heat condition. Maybe we don't see them. Call of issue. A player can collapse under the best condition. Players played in Qatar World Cup. Players played at the last Club World Cup. In fact, many of their complaints were not even about the weather. It was about the pitch. I remember Joe Bellingham talking about the level. You will get used to it. It's football, Kingsley. I remember when I went for private university games. The code different for Otutu. Where we played, it was December period. So we came out, my own coach, like we came out to train us at 5 a.m. or 4:30 a.m. or thereabout. You need to do before everybody. Coach 1 kilos. And my coach said something. Pain is in the mind. As I say, but pain is not in the mind. This hand one. But we still did our job. I'm not saying don't care about the players. Think about them, consider them. But at the same time, without fans, there are no sports. Because imagine you're playing football, nobody... See how... We still play football during COVID, but see how boring, in quote, it was. People say we never want to experience things like... So, do you want a player, supporters to come and watch ball in the stadium at 12 midnight? No, they will not come midnight. They have to come during the day when they can see themselves. Whichever game lasts longest, will probably be 11 o'clock. Or not even the unsafe society in US, all the shootings. So, you consider the venue you are playing as well. If FIFA had not considered all these things before giving you to America, then that's a problem. We talk about Europe. Yes, they've won World Cups and everything. South America have also won World Cup. Why don't you consider the timing? All the tournaments they host in Europe, do they consider America, South America, Asia? No, you consider the venue.
European times are when the big broadcasters drop the
you
big
said
bucks.
enjoy.
Okay.
It's just this time around. The next World Cup is coming to the time that favors them. Portugal, Spain, and Morocco. Yeah. So you even pay us Africa.
Okay, good one. Let's do a quick break. We'll come back. Quite a lot to still talk about on Naija Flavor. Premium Sport, PBO TV. We'll be back. Welcome back. It's time for Naija Flavor on Premium Sport on PBO TV. But let's start. I don't know. Hopefully, we'll get some days. We'll get good news from the home scene. Manu Gaba, head coach of the Nigerian Milan '17 team, has said is criticizing or critical of the Confederation of African Football decision to limit the numbers of teams that can qualify for the '17 AFCON from WAFU B to 2. After Nigeria fell short again at the regional qualifying tournament. Yes, we lost to Ghana 2-0. So we have Ghana and Ivory Coast who have qualified from the WAFU B. And let me just pick a part of his quote. I was the one who raised an observation that WAFU B is the strongest zone in Africa. So Africa needs good representation, and that's why they gave us 2 slots. I'm still complaining that it is wrong. Nigeria is still rated number 1 in the world at FIFA under 17 level. How can CAF give us just 2 slots? The last time in Ghana, there was 1 more slot, but unfortunately, CAF didn't give the 3rd slot to this zone. They gave it to WAFU A. I think it's very unfair to a zone like WAFU B. In youth football, we are the strongest in Africa, and we should get at least 3 slots. Why did they start all these slot things?
I've mentioned something I've been saying it for a few years. I think what CAF are doing makes absolutely no sense. And I think it's biased. If the Northern Africans or Southern Africans are the ones that are the best, I don't think they'll do the original thing.
So why didn't your own administrators or your own, executive...
when they said it, we had a member in the board of CAF. The truth is, this nonsense of zonalizing qualifiers, it makes no sense. If all our best are from one region, take all of them.
Yes, I agree.
They brought it to women. I think they stopped it again.
They said they want to develop the games from the other.
You cannot develop when...
And
that's why they are beating us like
Mumu
on the continent. Look at the last Women's World Cup. 4 of the top 6 ranked teams in women's football in Africa didn't make it to the World Cup. Why? Because Nigeria already beat 2 in qualifiers. They beat the remaining 2 in the competition proper. So then you say they are beating us 5. Zimbabwe top 5, I be 7. The truth is, if your best are from a region, if I don't do qualifiers, just pack Nigeria, Ghana. Imagine Cameroon has not been to the Women's World Cup in a long time. Same with Ghana. No, I think Cameroon even went for 2019 because they didn't go through Nigeria until the semi-final there. But the truth is, do the normal draws. In fact, the men is just impossible to do. That one they would have. If not, they would have still gone to the zonal nonsense. If all the best are from South, I don't mind. Take them. Do proper seeding. Do qualify. I'm not trying to make excuse for Nigeria. It is still nonsense that we are not qualifying. 4 years now they will play 4 straight World Cup for under 17, and we missed last year. We are missing again this year. I'm not excusing for Nigeria, but it makes absolutely no sense doing zonal qualifiers. No. Imagine Europe now want to do zone. They will now have Spain, Portugal, England in the same row. Only one will now. It makes absolutely no sense. So CAF, if not the year word, seed nations, let the best teams qualify, irrespective.
Let's work based on seedings. I think I agree. Seedings for me, I feel better than all of these the zonal qualifiers. Still on Nigeria Flavor Blue, let's talk about CAF tournament for MPFL teams. The 2 teams from the CAF Champions League qualified to the next round. 2 from the CAF Federation Cup failed to qualify. For Kwara United, we really enjoyed what they did, away from home to Asante Kotoko, played 4-3. That was like the best game I saw. Came back home and lost at home. How do you lose? You lost away from home 4-3. You couldn't score 1 goal. They lost 1-0. For Abia Warriors, who also were held 1-1 at home, against Joliba of Mali, went away from home, lost 1-0 right there at Mali. But the good one is that Rivers United, who played goalless away from home, came back, won by a goal to 0. They are into the next stage. They get to play Black Bulls of Mozambique. That looks like another winnable tie for them this month. Remo Stars, the defending champions of the MPFL, dispatches in the Majo of Comoros 5-0 on aggregate, 4-0 first leg, 1-0 second leg. But now they play the tie of the round, Mamelodi Sundowns. I feel it is doable, but we only have 2 teams in the CAF Champions League, no more teams in the CAF Federation Cup.
It's a level of Kasha Madupe for Remo Stars. Let me start with those 2 embarrassing teams. Immediately, I always play 1-0 at home. I knew they were out. That one, there was no question about that. The surprising team for me was Kwara United. Remember, we spoke about their 3rd goal was the winner for them. Then after the match, Tunde Sani, the head coach, I blame my players. They did not get DJ Bros. Calm down. Every time MPFL teams win, I want to thank God. Every time they lose,
I have to thank the governor.
They will thank the whole world. But every time they lose, the players never follow instruction. So who followed the instruction when they win? And we could lose. How do you lose 4-2? Then there was an unconfirmed report, though, that the Asante Kotoko manager said he needed to teach him a lesson. That in the first leg after 4-3, he was talking like it was locked. So I came home to beat him and teach him a lesson. So it was embarrassing that they had to lose at home, missed loads of chances. They couldn't get a goal. Unfortunately, both teams are out of Confederations Cup. And in the CAF Champions League, I think Rivers United should do enough against the Black Bulls, but I'm worried. Really worried for Remo Stars. Sundowns won the CAF Champions League a few years ago. They had Ronaldo finish a few times and all. They become a mainstay in the CAF competitions. They did well to an extent at the FIFA Club World Cup. So on paper, they're not be our mates. But again, in football,
it's football.
Anything.
If there's any team that can do it, it should be Remo Stars.
I don't think anybody will put, only few people, not anybody. Some people probably put their money on Remo Stars. But again, I hope, and the fact that they're not playing this game in Ikene, that is also a negative for them because they're literally going to a neutral ground in Abeokuta. But let's see.
I'll still give you,
against who? I'll still give you my 100% support. Hopefully they get, if a Sundowns will not be in the Champions League, it's plus for every other person in the Champions League.
And Remo Stars going.
If Remo Stars can pull them out, it means a good advantage. Let's say, I think Rivers United will qualify.
Yeah.
Remo Stars is where I'm skeptical, but I wish they can disappoint me and progress. The game is in about 2 or 3 weeks.
Yes, and
all
then
the best to Remo
both
Stars.
teams will get into the group stages of the wow. When was the last time we even had 1? Imagine us having 2. That'll be good days for Nigeria. On that good note, let's wrap up Nigeria Flavor after the break. Euro Focus. Welcome back, guys. Time for Euro Focus. Where else do we start from? But the biggest football fiesta when it comes to club football, the UEFA Champions League, where, yes, it's still match day 2, early days. We're done with match day 2, but I think we're beginning to separate the men from the boys, or we should take a chill pill and still wait. Maybe when we are done with games, match day 5, match day 6, we should start talking about that. Some of the teams have won 2 out of 2. Some teams, no point yet. Some 4 points, some 3 points, and some are still trying to find their bearing. Let's quickly pick some selected results from the game that happened in midweek in the UEFA Champions League. Real Madrid, yes, beat Kairat Almaty 5-0 away from home. Kylian Mbappe, hat-trick, that one. Atletico Madrid made it 5 goals for back-to-back games, having destroyed Real Madrid last weekend. They put 5 again past Frankfurt in midweek. Good one for that team. Chelsea, homecoming, the return of Jose Mourinho to Stamford Bridge did not end well for the special one. They beat Benfica by a goal to nil. Our own Victor Osimhen was the goal scorer for Galatasaray, who made it, 2 losses on the bounce for Liverpool. Galatasaray beating Liverpool 1-0 in that one. Inter Milan waxing strong, 3-0 victors over Slavia Prague. Bayern, who can stop Harry Kane? He keeps scoring, and that team looks like a very, very good team. Defeating Pafos FC 5-1, Marseille 4, Ajax 0, Atalanta 2, Club Brugge 1. Some very good results. Newcastle travel to go beat Union 4-0. Qarabag, surprisingly, they've won 2 out of 2, beating FC Copenhagen 2-0. Man City couldn't beat Monaco. It finished 2-2. Arsenal pipped Olympiacos 2-0. The game of the tie, before the game of the tie, Dortmund 4, Athletic Club 1, Napoli 2-1 victors over Sporting. The same Rasmus Højlund that couldn't cut it at Manchester United, getting 2 goals for them. Villarreal 2-2 against Juventus. And the game of the tie, PSG beating Barcelona away from home 2-1. PSG now 5 of the guys who started their Champions League final. They were all injured. Marquinhos, João Neves, Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, Desiree Doe. This just shows that maybe, just maybe, PSG might still be the team to beat in this season's Champions League.
Well, they picked themselves up somehow. They had a bit of a struggle from the start of the season. Then boom, and they are stepping up one by one. I think it just sent a message to those concluding, and this PSG is not as good as end of last season's PSG. For those who even at Barcelona, they made back, I go kill them. This is a depleted PSG side. None of their front three was available. They still came from a goal down to win that game. Mendes telling everyone, I'm still the best left back in world football. Currently, he showed it again. Remember, in the UEFA Nations League, it took Yamal to the cleaners, and people were like, national team. Now he's met him in the club football as well. He showed is the done. And Achraf Hakimi, for 4 years now, he's been hovering around the African best player, despite being a defender, going forward, defending. I tell you, it's probably one of those I wish Madrid didn't sell. Unfortunately, there was a certain Carvajal that stopped him right there. PSG look unstoppable. When the guys come back, the question now is, how hungry will they be? Because even the guys on the bench that stepped in for them still play like they're already a mainstay. I think what the messages are sent to us is, if you want to intentionally injure anyone, if you think it's those front three, you're enjoying the wrong person. It's those 3 magicians in the midfield. Joao Neves, Vitinha, and Fabian Ruiz. Those 3 guys, the 3 of them stay fit all through for PSG. PSG will definitely be a team to beat this season.
Okay, let's let you know. 5 teams or 6 teams have 2 out of 2. Bayern are top, 2 wins, +6. Real Madrid joined second, 2 wins also +6. PSG, 2 wins +5 goals. Inter, 2 wins +5 goals. Arsenal, 2 wins +4 goals. Qarabag, surprisingly, 2 wins. They have +3 goals. Away from that, let's head straight to games across leagues. Where do we start from? Let's start from the Bundesliga. I'm looking at fixtures right here. Bolu, do we really have key fixtures in the Bundesliga? Maybe Dortmund Leipzig should have been the game, but I think Bayern traveling to go take on Frankfurt should also be a game to look out for.
For Bayern, Frankfurt in the Champions League came from a goal now to thrash Galatasaray on match day 1. The match day 2, they now lost by the same scoreline 5-1. They are playing the Bayern Munich. You feel like goals. If they don't score, in fact, Dortmund used to be the game where you see loads of goals. Now Bayern are taking over that. Unlike Dortmund, where you don't know if it's a win for them or loss, Bayern are winning their own. Scoring goals for fun, scoring goals with ease. So it's hard to see. I'm waiting for the day they'll drop points for the first time, because it will be a loss for many punters, because the way those guys have been going, they feel unstoppable, playing good football. Harry Kane scored tons of goals.
Harry Kane in 9 games has scored 17 goals and 3 assists.
He scores with left, he scores with right, he scores with header.
That's like a dream
penalty,
a dream start for some strikers at the end of the season.
That's the season of some strikers, and he's got it from the start. And September just ended. So it shows how great in form they are. And for Leipzig were terrible last season. Yeah, they picked themselves up somehow this season. So maybe that's what the Dortmund Leipzig can give. But you still expect a direct win for Bayern Munich. And the other one, maybe you can go for goals in that game.
Okay, I'm looking at the Liga. No, not really much to talk about. Lyon to lose somewhere. I see Lille PSG should be the standout tie right there. In the Serie A, I'm looking for the game of the round. This should
Oh, it
be
has to be Juventus,
Juventus
Milan.
AC Milan. After what AC Milan did, to the defending
Napoli,
champions Napoli, Juventus also will have quite a lot on their hands right. Atalanta Como also should be a good game to
So that will
see.
likely be a game of goals.
Yeah,
Como can lose, they'll score.
yeah, it should be a good game to see. And in the La Liga, well, I'm looking. Well, I see Celta Vigo, Atletico
So I mean, battle with
Madrid,
this second and third.
Sevilla, maybe Sevilla, Barcelona.
Although Sevilla picked themselves up on like the last 2 seasons, but I'll be shocked if Barcelona don't win this game. But the game of the round for me,
Real Madrid, Villarreal also should be an exciting
Real Madrid
game.
are second, 18 points. Villarreal are third, 16 points. Villarreal have scored lots of goals this season. They are playing like they've been together for a while. In fact, if you look at the goals they've scored, I think it's just Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Atleti have outscored them. They scored lots of goals. They scored 5 in games. Their defending is also the best defensive record in the league so far this season. So Real Madrid will have a big struggle. Yeah, you expect them to bounce back in the league after the 5-2 thumping against Atleti. The advantage, they are playing at home. Real Madrid should win, but it's not going to be an easy ride. It could be a game where Real Madrid don't expect clean sheets here. Maybe both teams to score. And Real Madrid, they need a revenge. Before last weekend, they've considered only 3. They had the best defense, from being the best defense to one of the worst in the top 10. So they want to bounce back. So I think Real Madrid should end up winning this game after 90 minutes. But Villarreal will stress them definitely.
Okay, in England, quite a few games. For those of you, the fantasy, it would close on Friday. Yes. In fact, while this show is on, fantasy ought to have closed because there's a Friday night game right now going on. Bournemouth Fulham play tonight, and then we had at least Spurs, Arsenal, West Ham, London derby. The Gunners are not beating West Ham, I think, in back-to-back games at home. I think they've lost the last 2, so they would like to bounce back from that one. Man United, Sunderland. When you see this fixture, you look at it, should be a straight win for Man United, but Sunderland have been one of the best teams in this season, picking up points where you least expect, even with a Granit Xhaka in that midfield.
They picked up, since they returned, I think they're just 1 point between the total points of Sunderland and what Man U has gathered from April till now. Wow. Just 1 point difference between United and Sunderland. It shows how bad that club they've been. Sunderland were underrated before the start of the season, and now people are talking about them. They are seeing them. They're growing step by step. United, obviously, the favorite. The fact that they're playing at Old Trafford, you at least expect them to. We're still waiting for their first back-to-back wins under Amorim. Yeah, they got back-to-back wins at Old Trafford. They want to make it 3, but they've not had back-to-back wins in all matches, either home and away, which is a struggle. That team, I'll say it again, just like many persons have alluded to, that club is cursed. No matter what happens, they're not going to succeed. Maybe, I don't know who they offend, but they need to find a way. But at least Sunderland, they should win.
Brentford, Kate Andrews beat United 3-1 last time out. Host City this time around. That City team, the defense, is not strong enough. You think Brentford can stun City?
They beat them at the same venue I think last 1 or 2 years, and City defense feels like river. Maybe that's where they're doing the E1 racing. Anybody can pass. Pep has tried everything. Played with only centre backs in the back 4. Played with left side they play and nothing is still working. What they're banking on right now is in Haaland. We are talking about, people talk about Kylian Mbappe's crazy form. Mbappe has scored in all but 1 game this season. In fact, that one, he hit the back of net twice, but for narrow offside. People are talking about Harry Kane. Oh, lots of goals like we mentioned earlier. But people are not talking about Haaland. Yes, it's not his best start because we've seen Haaland 10 goals in 5 games, but that boy is scoring goals.
Yeah, back to back.
So to beat Man City right now, just try and outscore them because Haaland will most likely hit the back of the net.
Okay. The big one, Chelsea, Liverpool. 2 teams that need to make a statement. They both lost last weekend in the EPL. They both lost last weekend. Liverpool lost to Crystal Palace. Chelsea lost at home to Brighton. Chelsea are playing at home against the same Stamford Bridge. Liverpool will need to make a statement, because of the loss they had last time. And they also lost in the Champions League. So they won't want to make it 3 losses and slot.
Chelsea's last match between Liverpool, they won that game convincingly 3-1 at the same venue, Stamford. But before then, Chelsea went on about 10 games unbeaten. No, that's unbeaten. Unwinning against Liverpool. But out of those 10, those 7 were draws. They had 6 straight draws. At some point, they had 4 straight goalless. So I've been listening to a few people for this game and everyone draw. And I won't be shocked because both teams defend. We talk about how bad City's defense is. You see these two teams, their defense be like road. You can walk past them anytime. And both of them made the same mistake in the summer. I've listened to Arne Slot complain about defense. I said, bro, you had the whole summer transfer window, but you went all out for attacking players. You even sold Jared Konsa in your defense. Now you're crying about the defensive error. Same thing with the Chelsea. Oh, they bought everybody they can buy. Bought 2 forwards, 2 number 9s to replace Jackson, but they forgot their defensive problems. They've had injuries.
Chelsea have more than enough defenders.
They have defenders in numbers. They don't have quality in defense.
Levi Colville
is not even all that. And Tosin is their best. Colville is their best
Fofana, Chaloba, Badiashile, James,
Gabriel is
Maloguso, Kukureya. They bought Jorel Ato, one of the best defenders in the Dutch Eredivisie last season.
All their central defenders are
That's a good team.
The best central defender in that club based on performance from is Levi Colville. And even Colville will not start in many top teams in Europe. So you need to get the quality you need. Unfortunately, they've not got it, and this is where they found themselves. So I think both of them utilize that team. But I hope Arne Slot is not having problems with this player. The Salah benching, the Gakpo benching, but Filoran still starting games now. They're saying it's 008 already. They need to find a solution. So both of them need statement wins. The only advantage for Chelsea is they're playing at home. But I won't be shocked if this game ends in a draw, but both of them will definitely score.
Okay, let's do a quick break. And then today, our hot gist will be mostly about you all out there. Yes, the viewers. I'm going to ask you a question. Yeah, I'll just ask Bolu a question briefly on the hot gist. And then after that, we'll do our FPL. And Bolu shows his premium bank as we'll wrap up the show. Let's do a quick break after we come back. After the break, hot gist. Welcome back, guys. Yes, it's time for Hot Gist. And because the gist is hot, we also want you to be a part of it. Josh steps in to join us on this one. This is about the FIFA hammer. South Africa deducted 3 points. We now have Benin topping our group, ahead of the FIFA World Cup. 14 points Benin, 14 points South Africa. The Super Eagles 11 points. And then, guys, let me start from Josh. Josh, a lot of Nigerians are celebrating FIFA docking South Africa 3 points, but it's really Benin that have the upper hand. Even though their last 2 games are away from home, that team look like a team that can get the job done rather than the Super Eagles, based on the back of what has happened in the course of the qualifiers.
So for me, Benin Republic are clearly the favorites. I mean, we shouldn't even be talking about this in a way of the Super Eagles still going to the World Cup. I know I would love, regardless of the situation, for the Super Eagles to make the World Cup, but Benin Republic are in the driver's seat. And the last time that we were kind of in this precarious situation where we needed the opposing team to lose, it was Tunisia. 2009 World Cup qualifiers, and they lost at home to Mozambique, while we came from 2-1 down to beat Kenya 3-2 in Nairobi, the game that Martins and Yakubu carried the Super Eagles on their backs. We have 2 crucial games. If Super Eagles can win both games, the onus now falls on South Africa. If the onus now also falls on South Africa, because one of the games is against Benin Republic. So the onus, the tide now swings in favor of South Africa. If South Africa win their next 2 games, and they most likely will.
Zimbabwe and Lesotho.
So I just think that this group is just filled with a bunch of unserious teams, because if all of us were in a group that had Gabon will be on top of us.
Yeah.
Comoros, Central Africa, Cape Verde, Cameroon, they will all be on top of us. And it's a second place where they are.
Yeah.
DR Congo is second place where they are.
19 points Gabon.
19 points Gabon. Second.
Yeah.
And because it's 20. Neck in neck. So it just shows the level of Group C.
We are the poorest.
Group.
Some teams that are fourth in their groups have more points
than Nigeria. Rwanda, even funny enough, as we are also shouting Nigeria, Rwanda also has hope as well. Because Rwanda wins their 2 games, and then the points are shared amongst Benin, Nigeria, and South Africa. Rwanda will qualify. So there's nothing really to celebrate.
The thing about this, when we were calculating the deduction, we thought of only 3 point deduction for South Africa, 3 goals. We didn't consider the 2 goals they scored. That's why they are +3 instead of 5. So it means they deducted literally 5 goals from South Africa. And now, if Rwanda win their 2 games, we are thinking about the same condition South Africa, Benin Republic, Nigeria have the same condition with Rwanda. Win 2 games, just as South Africa must drop points twice.
Yes.
Because if they win 1, it means you have to now start to look for catch up with their goals difference. So it means they must drop points in 2 matches.
I think it's even
But
possible.
what if they lose one and win one?
I think it's possible.
They are playing the 2 games in South Africa.
No, I'm just assumption. Playing politics. South Africa win one and lose one. Benin win their next match and lose to Nigeria. Nigeria win their 2 matches. So all of us will be on
17 points.
7 points.
I just
South
think
Africa
for Nigeria, what Nigeria needs to
Our
do now is to score like 4 goals against
You know, I
Lesotho.
think last week I mentioned about the possibility of how they can. Okay, let me explain what it is. It is what ifs and what ifs because not all groups have 6 teams.
Yes.
Group E has 5 because of the retro. So what they will do at the end of everything, when all the top teams have qualified, then to balance it up, they will delete all the teams at the bottom. Then I think what they will now do is take out points from every team in the group from the bottom team.
Yeah.
Then they will reshuffle the team.
Ours, we only got 2 points.
As of now, Zimbabwe are bottom of the group.
Yeah,
so it
we
means
only got
Nigeria will lose 2 points.
2 points.
Lesotho may end up being bottom of the group. It depends. But as of now, it's Zimbabwe. So they will deduct 2. If it ends like this, it means if it ends like this, Benin Republic, I think they beat Zimbabwe one of that game. So they will deduct like more than 2.
Both of South Africa and Benin. South Africa and Benin.
We will be if South Africa even finish top, so South Africa is not their business. It's just from second. So we may still move to that second, but it is now left to other groups as well.
Regardless of the docking or the not docking, we are not going to reach those groups because
You know, they will duck from those ones too,
even if
from the bottom. So they may end up adjusting and make it pay us. But the best way is. But for those, South Africa are not losing the 2 games.
Yeah.
even if they lose
these
one game,
are shameless. Imagine wishing, docking points when in Africa we are the owners of the Osimhens, the Ademola Lookman, the
last 2
African footballers of the year. Our same
No, we
team.
want to call it. We want to do what Brazil did in 2002. Qualify through playoff, then win it.
It's a shameful thing to see, and we don't just have. Shame.
We can't qualify through the playoffs. We can't beat any of those 4 teams.
What do you guys think? What do you think?
Cameroon
Just
and
let's know
Cameroon is not even there.
in the comment section. Do you think this docking of South Africa 3 points? Who does it favor, Nigeria or Benin Republic? Let's have that.
I think Ross said something that the deduction came late.
Yeah,
and I agree 100%.
I agree with you.
If it had happened before the last round, it plays a major role in the mindset. But now they know that even despite the docking, but if we
personally, I don't think it will make any difference because the moment
it would have been a different. But
they knew that they were going to dock.
Yes,
they knew.
So immediately they found out what happened against Benin.
All those things Bruce was saying.
They knew.
See, against Benin, they dropped Mokwena from the team and they beat Benin 2-0. So since the moment they realized, they became very serious.
Now we not get sense.
Okay.
South Africa has only drawn 1 game since then, and that was against Nigeria.
Let's wrap up. Done with our gist. FPL. For those of you that captain Haaland, I think for some persons the triple captain Haaland. 2 goals, 1 assist.
That last week that you were abusing me, God cash you. I went to check. I had actually more points than you said. That weekend I told you I've not checked and you were abusing me. But you see that last weekend, last weekend, I think I got 49.
Okay.
Haaland got 32 for me.
Okay,
How?
good. I had
now 1 2 full everywhere.
I had 73. So you see,
I haven't checked.
okay.
They
don't check. They don't
It's
check.
terrible.
Well, people are still buying Haaland. Haaland is the most transferred in, the most captained. He's still number 1 top transfer. People are bringing in Senesi, bringing in Gueyi, Semenyo, Gabriel Mega.
Just captain a Holland or depending on the season. This is Holland season.
Yeah.
Just captain Holland.
Now, top transfer out. Guess who's on the top of it?
Salah, most likely.
So
I want to give him 1 more week before it.
Jao Pedro also top transfer. The same Jao Pedro top transfer out.
No, I knew.
Wood top transfer out.
No, Wood and Salah. This week is because I don't want to make transfers now because international week is next.
I don't think that Joao Pedro will do something this week because he got the red card in Champions League. So he's kind of not going to play any Champions League game and he needs to prove a point, not just to the Chelsea faithful, but of course to the Brazilian national team because World Cup is fast approaching.
But George, this is the Pedro. I think myself and you discussed one time. This is Pedro.
Well,
people that are expecting Pedro to go to 25, 30
because of the FIFA.
Because of FIFA Club.
I mean, having a fit Cole Palmer behind him, Joao Pedro can give you 15, 17 goals.
I think the one will score the goals himself. Okay, we'll wrap this up. Let's just hope that you have so much point this weekend. After this weekend, we have the international break.
Yeah.
So there won't be a FFL in the next edition of the show. All right, thank you guys. Thank you very much. Boluwati Tunishola Omoni. Yeah, I've not called him like that today. Good one. So I had to do that. And then to Josh Ike Okoli, thank you for having me. Thank you guys for joining us on this one. And I remain the amazing Kingsley Akman. Thank you, Elijah. Thank you, Gabriel, for doing justice to making sure that our faces come on the screen. I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Premium Box Office TV. Everyone loves premium. Premium Box Office TV is exclusive on StarTimes.